Hey guys, it's Tally. Welcome to the first week of my 16-week photo shoot prep. Now, as you guys know, I decided to go with a photo shoot instead of a competition for my own personal preferences as well as where I am aesthetically speaking. If you don't know about that, check out the video before this where I talked about that more. But anyway, this was the first week that I was actually using my coach's macro plan as well as his training plan. So that was a lot of changes, a lot of excitement, some challenges as well. As you guys know, I was doing a lean bulk before this, so I was eating about 2,400 calories a day. 16 weeks is not very much time to get to the kind of physique that I want. I do have to cut more quickly and kind of less slowly than my coach would prefer. I started off with about 2,300 calories a day. I'm currently eating about 1,750 calories a day, 185 grams of carbs, about 50 grams of fat, and 140 grams of protein. Those are kind of similar to the macros that I used over the summer when I was initially cutting, and I saw a lot of progress with that. So I'm really excited to see what this looks like. So my average weigh-in for this week was 145.4 pounds, where last week it was 146.3 pounds. But this is the first week that I started following my coach's macros. There were kind of a couple challenges with that. First of all, I was really worried about having to adjust to taking in lower amounts of energy. So far I haven't really seen any issues with it in terms of having energy throughout the day. The only time I just felt really drained and exhausted more than usual was a day that I had to get up really early. Didn't really get that much sleep that night. I had to get up at 6 o'clock to go to the gym, and then I had class for 6 hours, and then I had meetings and lots of things going on, so I think I was just kind of exhausted in general, and I didn't really do myself any favors by not getting enough sleep. But that was really the only time that I felt like my energy was affected, which I'm pretty excited about because that was one of my bigger worries. Another challenge that I've had this week was going from 2,400 calories a day to about 1,800 calories a day. Requires you to portion control a lot more and incorporate more more volume foods into your diet. So this week I was experimenting a little bit with some vegetables, which is pretty exciting because during my bulk I could just kind of eat whatever I want. I didn't really incorporate vegetables because I ate pasta and noodles and pretzels, whatever because it fit my macros. But now those things might not fit my macros, so I'm trying to incorporate more vegetables and incorporate more volume into my diet so I can feel full all day, as well as get micronutrients in, which you guys know is one of my goals for this year. I also got my official training split, which was super exciting. I have so much leg work in this split. I really like this split, you guys. He has me doing a lot of compound movements, which I'm a big fan of. I'm deadlifting and squatting each twice a week, so I have some back-to-back deadlifts and squats, which I was really nervous for, but I really like them, you guys. I love deadlifting and I love squatting that much, and it's awesome for me to be able to go in the gym and have a compound movement, always have some sort of like leg compound movement at the beginning of my training, and then go on and do more isolatory exercises. So I'm really enjoying that. That was definitely something I was really nervous about, having all sorts of DOMs. I also only have a 5-day split. I was training 6 days a week before. I was a little turned off when I saw that I was only training 5 days a week. However, having an extra rest day in the middle of the week has been amazing. So I train 2 days a week, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I have a rest day on Thursday, and then I do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I have a rest day on Monday. And that's actually been really helpful. I think I'm definitely feeling more energy. I feel better when I come in to train, and I feel like I'm much more deliberate about my training now that I have 2 rest days to kind of recover and get excited for the gym again. And it also helps me put some time aside to doing things like schoolwork and homework and group projects and my job as well as YouTube. So that's definitely really nice as well, and I'm really enjoying this split. My coach isn't having me do any cardio yet, which is awesome, but I am doing at least 10 minutes of stretching after every training session just because it really has been helping me with my range and my form for my squats. So I will be coming out with a stretching video probably this week. I'm not really sure yet, but it's in the works. It's gonna happen. Anyway, so this week you're gonna see a little bit of footage from the weekend before I started the new macros. So it was actually my boyfriend's birthday, so we headed down to visit his family. We got some Mongolian grill, which is actually really awesome for macros because basically what you do is walk through and you get a little bit of everything that you want, and it can be noodles, meats, seafood, vegetables, sauces, whatever you want, and then they cook it up for you, which is awesome because if you're confident enough to bring a scale in, you can literally weigh every single thing that you get and then plug it into MyFitnessPal and figure out what your macros are. There's a lot of vegetables too, which is really nice for getting those micronutrients and for getting volume food. And I did count all that into my macros. And then on the Sunday right before I started week 1, we actually went out to Red Robin, and I did kind of fall off track with my macros. I had a California chicken burger, but there were also onion rings. My boyfriend always gets the bottomless root beer floats, which I was also helping him consume. So there were a lot of untracked macros, and I know I probably went over kind of my maintenance macros for that day, but hop right back on track on that Monday because, you know, sometimes you'll enjoy yourself, and I hadn't really started my prep yet, so I kind of I allowed myself to stray a little bit and not necessarily track. If you look at my MyFitnessPal, it will say the California chicken burger, but it won't say, you know, drinking half of my boyfriend's root beer float. And finally, if you haven't checked it out yet, we also did a grocery haul, and I posted that a couple days ago. And this week you're gonna be seeing some leg day footage. You know, leg day is my favorite. I'm doing some new exercises that I am not super familiar with, so you'll see me kind of putting myself outside my comfort zone and trying to figure things out. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and let's get started. I am now cutting, so I do not have too many carbs to spend on things like rice and pasta and stuff. So I am cooking some, look at that, micronutrients. Aren't you proud of me? There are carrots and mushrooms in there, and some chicken, and I put a little bit of teriyaki in there. So it's just a quick stir fry with some teriyaki sauces. I also heated up some of this quinoa and brown rice that I got at Costco. You guys can watch my Costco haul video if you haven't yet, but I'm gonna heat that up together and we'll see what kind of yummy creation I end up making. And here's the final product in all its colorful but not really glory. So this is about half of a serving of that organic brown rice and quinoa Costco package. And I'll show you, this is my hand so you can kind of see. So that's just half a serving because I don't quite have the macros for a full serving. I already took a picture of it for my Instagram because, you know, it doesn't count as you eating food unless you took a picture and posted about it on Instagram. So yeah, I hope this is tasty, and I hope the macros turn out to be alright, and I'll probably post them somewhere on the screen. So speaking of Instagram, you guys are dorks, because that awkward moment when your picture of sushi gets more likes than any pictures of your face or your squats or anything like that. So this week you guys are going to see some footage from exercises that I'm pretty familiar with, pretty comfortable with, for example the squats and Romanian deadlifts, as well as some exercises that are new to me that my coach is having me incorporate into my leg day routine. So these are actually the last 2 sets of my 5x5 of my squat, and one of the things that I posted lately, more recently in one of my Instagram posts, was whenever I post on Instagram like myself training or deadlifting or benching or whatever it may be, or I try to do this as well on my YouTube videos, whenever I post anything, it's typically the last sets of that exercise, mostly because if you just film yourself, and this is kind of a tip for you guys, film yourself doing these exercises, but don't just film the beginning. Don't just film the first few sets where you're fresh, when you know your form is good. Film yourself when you're kind of breaking down, when you're getting tired, because that'll allow you to better understand, visualize, and better understand where your form is starting to break down, where your mistakes are, know kind of your faults and your weaknesses, so you can adapt and change them. You can't improve until you know what you're doing incorrectly. So that's why I highly, highly recommend filming yourself from various angles just to get a sense of what you're doing and how you can improve it. Anyway, here I'm doing some straight leg Romanian deadlifts, really making sure I'm pushing my butt out, really feeling the stretch in my hamstrings, and really squeezing at the top, keeping my weight back so I'm using my hamstrings and my butt instead of just my back and, you know, my upper body to pull that up. But in a second here you're going to see me do something that I've never ever done before. Those are cable hip abductors, and those are pretty interesting for me. I'm only using like a 5 or a 10 pounds, I believe, here. I'm really trying to square my hip out. I'm kind of having issues trying to figure out how to engage the correct muscles here. This is really supposed to work your outer glute, and they're really burn, but I really want to make sure that I'm keeping my hips square and not using the momentum. You can kind of see I'm popping my hip up to try to get it up, but you know, like I said, using really low weights to try to learn the movement before I go heavier. Do you guys remember every time I tell you that when you're learning a new exercise or when you're just starting out in lifting, to go really lightweight and to go really slow and focus on your form? That's exactly what I'm about to show you in this clip. Stay humble, my friends. Another exercise I've never actually done before, single leg press. My coach is having me do these twice a week. I've only ever done double leg press before, and so this was really humbling because you'd think it would be very similar, but you really have to adjust and you really have to think about it and be very deliberate about what you're doing in order to use the correct muscles here and not just use momentum and get that range, get that 90-degree at least range in your knee. So this was, I'm actually really excited that I have these exercises that are new to me because, you know, for the last 2.5 whatever amount of months that I've had this YouTube channel, I've been telling you guys, if you're new to lifting, if you're new to any exercise, if you're new to squatting, benching, whatever it may be, take it light, take it slow at first, figure out your form, and then add weight. So this is really exciting for me because, yeah, it was kind of humbling to have to take, you know, 8 plates off of the leg press machine after whatever bro was using it to do calf raises, but at the same time, having to push this empty machine essentially kind of allowed me to show you that this is what I do. So if I'm ever new to something, I don't use a lot of weight. I'm really going slow here, just like painfully slow for me just to watch this right now. But really trying to make sure that I'm not letting my knees cave in, that I'm not using my knee, I'm pushing through my heel, really thinking about this. So takeaway here, be deliberate, take it nice and slow, and do things with intention. We're at Red Robin because it's this guy's birthday tomorrow. This is the last day before I start tracking my new cutting macros. I'm kind of easing my way down, but I'm still going way over fats, but it'll be pretty close to what I was at before. So otherwise I probably would have gotten like a bowl of soup because this restaurant hates people who are counting macros apparently. So I got a California chicken burger. They skimped out on the fries quite a bit there. I'm being assaulted! No way! Stop! God damn it. I ate the cherry and he has no idea. Oh, you ate the cherry? Yeah, I ate the cherry, you jerk. I ended up eating way more than chicken burger than I was planning. A lot of my boyfriend's root beer float on some of his birthday sundae. Yeah, that's where it is. Stop, you're gonna pour it down me. Kyle got a birthday sundae, so I ate some of that. I have ice cream on my face. That's really awesome. But anyway, I ended up eating more than expected, but that's okay. I will start my macros up tomorrow, and this is pretty much the first like cheatish, not counting, going over my macros thing in like 2 weeks. So we'll be okay.